So in the last two videos, I mentioned where I was saying that, Bajor can hit a note and it reminds you of, it's very heavenly. And it's like, takes you to like, kind of like this utopian place that you don't want to leave. It releases endorphins and things like that. But when I say it's very heavenly, there's this topic and there's this idea I have, and it's difficult for me to try to explain it, but I'm going to do my best. I guess I have to take some time. I've taken some time to try to work it out, but it's an interesting concept, and it's sometimes hard for me to kind of explain the way I see it. But like I kind of have this theory that music is a gateway, but it's also evidence for the existence, or lends way. It is evidence for something that lends way to the existence of a creator. So, here's why. Let's say you have a musician play something that gives you a feeling of anxiousness, suspense. They're able to create this feeling. What does that tell you? It tells you that that feeling exists. So, now we can say that it exists because we exist, right? But all feelings exist because we exist. However, if we can pinpoint that this is the feeling of nervousness, anxiousness, on edge, right? This is why there are scores to movies, right? To create this feeling. Then this is the objective. This is objectively is the sound of that feeling. Look, you're not going to create the suspense, the suspensefulness. You cannot play the suspensefulness of a I don't know, just even a suspenseful action scene. Okay, you cannot create that number and put it in a scene where somebody where a woman is pregnant in a baby shower. Those two things are going to clash. That's not going to. Well, why is that? Why? Because feelings are not open to interpretation, or the sound that represents feelings that we all agree on is not open to interpretation. What does that tell us, though? Let's understand this on a deeper level. That tells us that there are truths that are out there that are objective. They're not subjective. What the sound of happiness, for me, might differ from what the sound of happiness is to you, but not so much. Not so much. It would be very difficult to find somebody. Look, I like metal. I like some hardcore metal. Shit gonna make me feel happy, I wouldn't describe it as the sound of happiness. You understand what I mean? Like, maybe you can play some happy metal, I suppose, but there is an objective happy. There is a sound that's easy listening, it's light. There's a sound that's very dark. You cannot tell me that if you put on Trent Reznor, let's go to the his best album, the double CD. The fuck was it called? There was Downward Spiral, and this was, God damn it, man, I hate when this happens. This was the one after or before Downward Spiral, actually. Might have been the double album, though, where every song connects into the other. I forget the name of the album, but the song is called The Wretched, and it comes on and like you hear it. It's like, it's dark, little piano beat. It's very down, you know. The sky rips. What the fuck does he say? The clouds rip out and the sky cracks open and God himself will reach his fucking arm through just to push you down. It goes with the music because this is the feel that's being created. But how do you create a feel? If there is no objective understanding of what a feel even feels like, how do you create that feel? It would never work. There would never be, it would not work. There would be no such thing as creating a score to a movie. It wouldn't work. Because here you are, a composer, trying to create what in your mind registers as the perfect music for this guy getting stabbed, and somebody else, in their mind, it's registering as we should take a walk in the park. You can't, no matter how you try, whatever argument you try to come up with to combat what I'm saying, really just doesn't hold up. We have to agree that there is, that we all interpret. We have an objective interpretation, I suppose. I'm even trying to be, I'm being generous here, and I'm challenging my own, I don't know, thesis as I bring it forward. Or right? So even an objective interpretation, right? Which is me being generous to the opposition who would try to combat what I'm saying. Yet and still, these feelings, they're out there. The musician is able, it's like something that's invisible, and the musician is able, or the composer rather, is able to outline it. It's invisible. The composer creates the proper melody to show you that it's there. And you say, yeah, that is what this sound represents this feeling, or this scenery, or like this kind of scene, or sound does that. Sound can create a visualization. It can create a mood. Do you get what I'm trying to say here? It goes to show that if it can create the mood, well, then the mood is objective. If we can hear something and agree that this sounds like this, and when it's extreme enough, you will have to agree that no, this sounds like this, and this is even provable on a scientific level. I've made reference in one of the free verses where I said, if you tell the water I love you, it can preserve rice. A mighty surge of light reserved inside of the word, conveying the semen. What the fuck? A mighty surge of light reserved inside of the word, pervading the seemingly solid object, transmitting an electric current with the purpose of permeating the jar's inner contents. I'm fucking something up here. But the point that I'm making here is that there was an experiment. 3 jars, rice and water. Tells the jar, 1 jar of rice, I love you. Neglects the other jar. Tells the 3rd jar, I hate you. The 3rd jar that he told I hate you to, that rice deteriorated the quickest. Hold on, this is annoying me that I fucked that up. A mighty surge of light reserved in the side of the word, pervading the seemingly solid object. I think it was pervading the seemingly solid object. So the third jar deteriorated the quickness. Energy is there, right? Even on a molecular level. Now, the rice, did the rice interpret that as, like, there is objective truth out there. So if there is objective truth, well, how is it that we are designed or created, or even if we're going to say that how did we evolve to come to know this objective truth? Anytime you have objectivity, it lends way to the concept of purposeful intent. Because if everything was random, there would be more subjectivity. What would sound like happiness to me would sound like fucking misery to you. And again, like, we could say, oh, but you could say dark music makes you happy, but you can't say that dark music isn't dark music. If we can agree that there is dark and there is light and we can agree that there is essentially good and bad. And once you start to get into that realm of like, once you start to go there, that there's an objective good and bad, you're now getting into morality. And if you're gonna get into objective morality, now you're in the realm of creator. If you're going to say that there is a subjective morality that switches as we go along, then you explain to me how there are sounds that create moods that we can all identify and agree on. You can't tell me that shiny, happy people holding hands sounds like death metal to you. I don't give a fuck how open-minded you are or how, like, your greatest attempt to try to insert subjectivism into what I'm saying. You're outright lying to me if you tell me Shiny Happy People by R.E.M. sounds like fucking, insert whatever hardcore fucking song you want. Sounds like M.O.P.'s fucking... You know what I'm saying? Like, if there is feelings that we can all identify, and music is makes them known to us, right? I mean, we feel them without music, but music, it can create them from, like, out of no, like, it embodies these things. Clearly, there is an irrefutable existence of an objective truth. What is the music even describing? If it's not there, what is the music describing? It's previously there. The music isn't the creation of it. The music is outlining what is there. You have the feeling, or you have the concept, you have the thought. And there it is. Now, somewhere down the line, it gets to where there's a little bit more, sometimes it can be a little bit more difficult to pinpoint, because that's how emotions are. Sometimes we don't know if we're happy, we're not, like, so you have all of these, all of this gray area, but even the gray area is descriptive of the gray area. So the point that I'm trying to make, that music is evidence for an objective truth, and I believe that objective truth lends way to the concept of a creator. It's my perspective, and I just thought that was worth sharing. You might find it interesting, or you may disagree, and it's okay. But I found that interesting. I'll see you on the next one.